After Congress voted to force the Justice Department to release its files on Jeffrey Epstein, the legislation will now move to President Donald Trump's desk. And if Trump does sign it into law as expected, it will mark the final action in what has been a remarkable and abrupt change in his position. For months, Trump was dismissive of calls to release the government's full trove of documents about the late financier and convicted sex offender. He described the case in July as pretty boring stuff. That was until Sunday, when, with a snowballing number of Republicans in the House signaling they would vote to release them, the president relented and encouraged them to do so. His shift opened the floodgates for an overwhelming 427-1 vote on Tuesday. His reversal was a rare instance of Republican politicians pressuring Trump into action, and into a very public change in stance rather than the other way around. Regardless of what new information any future files may contain, the saga exposed fractures within the Republican Party and highlighted the power of Trump's Make America Great Again MAGA base. It also has shown that, despite his best efforts, he may have struggled to move attention away from the Epstein files if he had not backed the vote. I think he sees that this is an issue he's underwater in with average Republicans, said Martha Zoller, a conservative radio host and Republican strategist in Georgia. I think Trump had to do this in this point in time because he wants to be back on the right side. An NPR-PBS Newshouse Marist poll taken at the end of September, when Trump was yet to back the release of the files, suggested that 67% of Republican registered voters supported the release of all Epstein files, with victims' names redacted. Another 18% supported releasing some of the files with similar redactions. Transparency on what happened is extremely important to the voters, Chris Ager, the former chair of the New Hampshire Republican Party, told the BBC. He praised Trump's reversal, arguing it was the sign of a healthy party, that you can have a disagreement on an issue and come to a conclusion where, essentially, everyone is agreeing, let's release the files. For much of this year, however, there were sharp disagreements on the issue. Trump's reversal came as it looked increasingly likely he could face a revolt in the House. The most notable defector, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, said at a press conference with Epstein survivors on Tuesday that the saga had ripped MAGA apart. Due to her vocal opposition, Trump dubbed her a traitor on Truth Social. Typically, such a public attack from the president would quiet dissent from a Republican, especially one up for re-election. But in a sign of the political potency of the Epstein issue, Greene pushed back. He called me a traitor for standing with these women and refusing to take my name off this discharge petition, Greene said on Tuesday. The House would advance the legislation, Greene said, because the American people who we serve as representatives here in Congress demanded this vote happen. Greene, who first broke with Trump in the spring, has been the public face of building dissent within Trump's MAGA movement, not just on Epstein, but on other issues, such as the U.S. bombing of Iranian nuclear sites in June, and the president's continuing focus on foreign wars. But on the Epstein issue in particular, Greene and others in the movement have called for greater transparency despite Trump's desire to focus on other issues. And after Tuesday's votes in Congress, they can claim real success. The saga reveals how much power the Republican base now wields, party strategist Rena Shaw told NPR in the summer. MAGA voters are furious. This pressure is forcing even the most loyal Trump allies to break ranks, and it signals a Republican Party that's increasingly populist, where the grassroots can push leaders to act or they have to pay a price.